Right now at noon, primary voters in 15 states and one territory head to the polls for Super Tuesday.
Clouds have rolled in. That cold front has pushed through. We are cool. We are breezy. We'll take a look at your forecast coming up.
And the Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce is wanting your input for the 2024 Small Business and Educator of the Year Awards.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Today is Super Tuesday, and that includes the Oklahoma primary elections. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. This election year in Oklahoma, independent voters can only vote via the Democratic Party ballot. The Republican and Libertarian parties chose to keep their primaries closed, meaning independent registered voters cannot use a Republican or Libertarian ballot. Polls open today at 7 a.m. and will close at 7 p.m. Millions of Americans coast to coast head to the polls today to cast their primary votes, teeing up what appears to be another general election showdown between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. CBS's Skylar Henry is outside a polling site in Alexandria, Virginia.
Voters in more than a dozen states are casting their ballots in the Republican and Democratic primaries today.
It's very important, yes.
Most of the delegates awarded over the entire primary season will be determined on this Super Tuesday, with President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump the frontrunners of their respective parties.
The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that.
Trump is fresh off a unanimous Supreme Court victory Monday, deciding that Colorado cannot remove him from the primary ballot for his conduct around the January 6th insurrection.
It's all political. It makes me feel stronger to back him.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders cast her vote and looked ahead to the general election.
This is a head-to-head matchup at this point between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and he's the clear favorite, has all the momentum, and I feel really good about him winning again in November.
6 Super Tuesday states, including here in Virginia, have open primaries, allowing voters to cast a ballot across party lines. Another 5 states let unaffiliated voters participate in whichever party's primary they choose.
I'm unaffiliated, but I'm voting in the Republican primary there, just again, some normalcy.
GOP challenger Nikki Haley is looking to pick up support in those primaries, not limited to registered Republicans.
At some point, maybe we should say the reason that America keeps losing is because of Donald Trump.
Haley has vowed to stay in the race as long as she's, quote, competitive, but hasn't defined what that really means. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
We will have extensive coverage of the Super Tuesday primaries as the day continues. For the latest updates, you can visit our website, koamnewsnow.com/elections.
And we've had a cool and breezy day across the area today, and cloudy as well. Take a look. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It's going to come up one more time here. I realized the playlist here. MoDOT camera 32nd and Rangeline also showing plentiful cloud cover, and we've been a bit breezy out there as well. We've mentioned those north winds would be about 15 to 20 miles an hour, and they've certainly lived up to that. Skywatch Storm Tracker, cloud cover across the area, but not necessarily south of I-44. There's a bit of a gap right through there. We've got some thunderstorm activity, believe it or not, trying to redevelop, but it's going to be well to our east for today. Yesterday started at 58, and we broke the record high by 2 degrees, making it up to 79. The record 77 set back in 1961. No danger of records being broken today. We're in the upper 40s and low 50s, and some of our southern counties still on the warm side of that front, believe it or not. And of course, you can keep up with all the day's latest weather right with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. It's like having the entire KOAM Skywatch weather team in the palm of your hand. We are tracking some thunderstorm chances as we head into tomorrow night, Thursday, and Friday, and we're going to have a complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, on Friday, the Barton County Sheriff's Office received a call regarding the discovery of an adult male body dumped at the Prairie View Regional Waste Landfill in Lamar, Missouri. The victim's body, identified as Manuel Gomez from the Springfield area, was believed to have come in on a trash truck. Troopers say the Barton County Sheriff's Office reached out to them to take the lead in the investigation. The City of Commerce, Oklahoma will be shutting down its water tower tonight at 11 p.m. The shutoff is due to a leak that cannot be fixed live. The city says that public works crews will be working as safely and efficiently as possible to make needed repairs. Updates will be provided through text messages and the city's Facebook page. Areas across the 4 states recently experienced red flag warnings. A notice from officials that there is a high fire danger for the day. These warnings are issued to encourage people not to try to burn anything and be aware of potential risks. Fire officials say that in the current conditions, a small fire can quickly get out of hand.
The National Weather Service will put out red flag warning days, and it's, once again, they have the criteria as well of higher winds and lower humidities, but that's definitely going to be days that a fire can very easily get away from you and take off and, create problems to the point that you have to have help.
Area fire departments recommend people call them before any attempt to do a controlled burn to see if the conditions are safe. Well, State Emergency Management and the National Weather Service will conduct a statewide severe weather tornado drill across Missouri this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Joplin, Jasper County, Carthage, and Webb City plan to move their March monthly regional outdoor warning siren test to coincide with the statewide tornado drill. Every school, citizen, and business is encouraged to participate in the drill. A liberal Missouri landmark came crashing down yesterday. Crews used a wrecking ball to tear down a grain elevator that has been there since 1950. We spoke with some residents about the demolition project, and many said they were sad to see it come down. The Pittsburgh School Board yesterday approved adding 2 new courses to their offerings. Those courses are financial literacy and earth and space science. Officials say those courses will fall under new graduation requirements starting with the class of 2028. The financial literacy course will be offered to upperclassmen. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce wants your nominations for the 2024 Small Business and Educator of the Year Awards. Selections for small business are based on evidence of successful operation of a business as well as significant contributions to the community. Selections for educator are based on the teacher's ability to inspire students of all backgrounds and abilities to reach their full potential. If you have a small business or educator you'd like to nominate, head on over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, new budget airlines continue to soar, offering new options for travelers. We'll have the details. And later, we're making 5-star chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. More than a dozen new budget airlines have launched since the start of the pandemic. Some have already folded, but most are going strong, offering new options for travelers. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports.
A Play Airlines plane arrives every day from Iceland at tiny Stewart International Airport, about an hour and a half outside of New York City. We were invited on the budget airline that has only economy seating, boxed food for a cost, and no entertainment options. But fares to Europe with a stopover in Iceland are as low as $118 each way from New York, Baltimore, Boston, and Washington, D.C.
It was basically about getting from A to B, and most people would like to do that as cheaply as possible. And so you can basically spend your money on your holiday.
There is such a hunger for travel.
Katie Nastro with the airline website Going.com says that's why budget airlines are taking off.
We are seeing just in the last month alone a 5% increase in the amount of people that are traveling since 2020.
Budget airlines aren't always at major airports, but fast-growing Breeze Airways does operate here out of San Francisco International, as well as California's LAX and San Diego International. Breeze is adding 13 airports and 25 domestic routes in 2024. Other airlines launching in the last few years include the U.S.-based Avelo, Aerojet, mostly in the Caribbean, Norwegian-based Norse, Wizz Air in the Middle East and Europe, and Air Premia, Greater Bay, and Zip Air, all in Asia. One indicator of the difficulties of airline startups is that several have already collapsed, including British airline Flybe.
It's difficult. I mean, this is a cutthroat business.
In the U.S., low-cost airlines have grown from 5 to 15% of the market, putting pressure on larger airlines to lower costs. Nastro says they also tend to have fewer connections and better baggage handling. But there are sometimes other issues.
Budget carriers typically have a lower on-time performance versus other airlines.
She also says keep in mind
airline, budget airlines have fewer partners if there are problems to shift passengers to other flights. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, San Francisco.
Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Have you ever wondered what makes a five-star restaurant five-star worthy? Well, one taste of today's recipe and you'll understand.
But first, we are talking about some thunderstorm chances as we head into tomorrow night, Thursday and Friday. We'll have a look at your forecast when the News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we are cooler out there. We are cloudy. We are still breezy, but thankfully not nearly as windy as we were yesterday. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us plenty of clouds across the area, except almost right immediately south of Interstate 44. A little bit of an opening out there. And then off to our south and east, we've got some new thunderstorm development taking place, but all of that is going to stay away from us for today. Now, I know some of you are looking forward to some rain, and you're probably thinking, well, that's not good news at all. For today, it's not, because we do need some additional rainfall out there, but I do have some good news. We are going to get some additional rainfall as we head into the next couple of days. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line in Joplin, looking back to the north, showing those gray skies out there, and it's a similar scene from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Again, got those north winds out there, and they're going to be blowing 15, 20 miles an hour out there, so they're breezy, but not nearly as much so as they were yesterday, for example. 49 in Joplin right now, obviously quite cloudy. North breeze is about 12, making it feel like 44 degrees. As we look around the area, temperatures are chilly, but not too bad. Some of us, though, beginning to warm up because you're getting a little more sunlight to the south. And we won't stay completely cloudy through the afternoon. We'll see a little clearing here and there, and we'll all eventually get an opportunity to warm just a little. So what about the rain we're talking about? Well, that's going to start to roll in as we head into tomorrow, late evening, overnight, and into the first part of our Thursdays where this is going to start. So late tomorrow night, we're going to have showers, thunderstorms rolling into the area, and they're going to stick with us through just about all day Thursday and all day Friday as well, with thunderstorm chances across the area. Now, that does keep our temperatures, here, but take a look at all of this much needed rain that's going to be hanging out across the area. Now, unfortunately, with this, there is an attendant risk for some stronger storms. Now, that's a little green area, as you just saw on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, right on the back edge of where some isolated storms may develop, barely touching our area. Now, this is for tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms. The light green, of course, is just general thunderstorms across the area. It's Thursday, where we see that low-end risk for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms, with hail and wind being the primary concern at this point. But of course, we're going to keep an eye on this as we get a little closer. And this doesn't go all the way to Friday, but there, of course, we have the thunderstorms on Friday, and it does look like there may be an attendant severe threat there as well. But again, looking to be more on the low side. But of course, we are going to keep an eye on that for you. For the rest of the day, once we get a little more sunshine in a little more areas, we're looking at highs topping out right around the mid-upper 50s out there. But, of course, that wind still blowing out of the north 15 to 20 miles an hour. Heading into the evening and overnight, not too bad. It's cool, but not bad. It's going to be roughly low to mid-40s out there, mostly cloudy skies. Winds northeast now 10 to 15 with occasional gusts to 20. And ahead of our increasing storm chances tomorrow night, we're looking pretty good. We're looking to go upper 60s, maybe even some low 70s in some locations. East breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Looking down the road, we're going to have those thunderstorms again Thursday, Friday, putting our temperatures right in the 60s across the area. We're a little cooler for Saturday, back in the low to mid-50s, but it's brief. We warm right back up again heading into next week with some additional rain chances next Wednesday and Thursday. But, of course, we'll keep an eye on those storm chances as we get into this Thursday and Friday out there.
Absolutely. We definitely need the rain. I'm sad to see the sun go, but I know it'll be back.
It certainly will, and it'll be back just in time for the weekend.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making 5-star chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. If you're looking for an elevated yet easy dinner, this 5-star chicken recipe is the one for you. Howard is showing us the recipe for this restaurant-ready dish in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Have you ever wondered what makes a 5-star restaurant 5-star worthy? I have, and I've discovered that it all started back in 1921 when the Michelin Restaurant Guide introduced a star system for rating restaurants. These days, it's not uncommon for us to say that something is 5-star worthy when it's really good, just like the recipe we're making today. We begin by dredging chicken breasts in some seasoned flour and sauteing them in butter. Once they're golden on both sides, we take them out and in the same skillet, add some chicken broth, a bit of white wine, some mushrooms that we've quartered, a chopped tomato and onion. We'll let this simmer for a bit before adding the chicken back in and finishing it off with some chopped parsley. Once everything is heated through, just one taste and you'll know why we think this is 5-star worthy. Maybe serve it up with some rice pilaf and some steamed or roasted broccoli, and you're good to go. To get the recipe for our 5-star chicken, head over to our website. You might even want to print out the recipe so you always have it close by. It's that good. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a restaurant fancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so we are breezy, cloudy, a little cooler today, a little warmer tomorrow. Late night thunderstorms leading into Thursday and Friday. And again, some of those storms on Thursday could be strong, low-grade severe, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Colder by Saturday, low to mid-50s, but it's short-lived, back to the 60s and 70s next week with more rain chances next Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, we certainly need the rain indeed.
It's true.
All right, and Dal, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, a lot coming up at 5. For starters, we're going to have continuous coverage of Super Tuesday. It's the biggest day of the presidential primary season so far, as former President Donald Trump looks to close in on the GOP presidential nomination. Plus, we're going to hear from some local voters in Oklahoma as they cast their votes in today's primary. And a new era for the Carthage Tigers baseball team as they break ground for their new stadium. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Wonderful, Dal. Looks like we have a lot to look forward to tonight. Even though we've got some rain, it seems like it's going to be shape up to be a pretty good day.
Yeah, we need the rain and the weather out there.
Absolutely.
The temperatures at least are beautiful.
Beautiful, especially for March.
You bet.
All righty. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.